In the stifling darkness of a summer night over the Black Sea, where the crash of waves mingled with the whisper of wind carrying the scent of salt and distant gun smoke, a tale of warfare unfolded, scripted by invisible forces. It was a delicate symphony of technology, intellect, and audacity, the hallmark of modern warfare, where small machines can topple giants. The focus was the bold strike on August 7, when Ukrainian special forces, under the command of the Defense Intelligence Directorate, DIU, delivered a crippling blow to the heart of Russia's air defense network in occupied Crimea. The operation showcased not only the ingenuity of low-cost technology, but also marked a turning point in asymmetric warfare, with Ukraine leveraging homemade drones to counter Russia's advanced defense systems. According to the Militarny, published Wednesday, August 8th, the 98L6E Yenisei radar, a critical component of the S-500 Prometei air defense system, touted by Russia as an impenetrable shield, was breached by inexpensive, homemade kamikaze FPV drones launched from Magura V5 unmanned sea drones. It was a stunning reality. The report highlighted that a single Yenisei radar costs an estimated $50 million, while each FPV drone costs less than $1,000, creating a staggering cost-effectiveness gap in warfare. The operation's roots trace back to early August, when, at secret bases along Ukraine's coast, the elite primary unit, known as Phantom in some internal reports, under DIU command, began preparations. These unsung soldiers, skilled engineers, and OSINT specialists from the Cyberbaroshino group spent weeks analyzing satellite data, reconnaissance drone imagery, and leaked Russian social media posts. They knew Crimea, the strategic peninsula occupied by Russia since 2014, was guarded by a dense air defense network, with the S-500 Prometheus system as its pinnacle. The 98L6E Yenisei radar, tested by Russia from 2020 to 2021 and officially fielded in April 2021, served as the system's all-seeing eye. Equipped with an active electronically scanned array, ASA, and advanced anti-jamming capabilities, it could detect and track aerodynamic targets at up to 373 miles, ballistic targets at altitudes of 62 miles, and relay real-time data to command posts for coordination with interceptors like the 40N6E and 9M96 missiles. Mounted on a 4-axle MZKT chassis with a 360-degree rotating antenna split into 2 segments, it was no ordinary radar, but a mobile fortress, deployed in Crimea to protect Russian naval and air bases from hypersonic missiles or drones. The S-500 Prometheus, with its 40N6E missile boasting a 249-mile range and Mach 14 speed, and the 9M96 with a 75-mile range and high maneuverability, was designed to counter hypersonic targets at altitudes up to 124 miles, making the Yenisei indispensable for precision targeting. Ukraine, however, was no underdog. Years of grueling war had taught them to turn limitations into strengths. The primary unit began by pinpointing the Yenisei radar's location using OSINT data from Cyberbaroshino, identifying its coordinates near Crimea's southern coast, concealed by hilly terrain and Soviet-era radio-transparent domes. These domes, up to 66 feet in diameter and made of force-resistant composite materials, were designed to hide the radar from optical reconnaissance, but they couldn't shield it from Ukraine's relentless intelligence efforts. Ukrainian engineers customized dozens of kamikaze FPV drones, compact machines weighing 11 to 22 pounds, carrying 4.4 to 6.6 pounds TNT warheads, with a top speed of 124 miles per hour and a range of 6 to 9 miles. Controlled via first-person view (FPV) cameras with less than 100 milliseconds of signal lag, these drones were handcrafted, blending civilian components like brushless electric motors, lithium-ion batteries, and control systems from Ukrainian manufacturers like Aeropract or small Kyiv workshops. Some drones were fitted with armor-piercing warheads equivalent to 11 pounds of TNT, capable of penetrating the dome's composite shells before detonating. To execute the strike, a safe launch platform was needed to bypass Russia's coastal defenses. Enter the Magura V5 unmanned sea drones, autonomous naval craft 18 feet long, weighing 2,200 pounds, with a top speed of 50 miles per hour and an 497-mile operational range. Equipped with GPS/INS anti-jamming navigation and the ability to carry 4 to 6 FPV drones, the Magura V5, developed by Ukrainian engineers since 2023, had already proven its worth against Russia's Black Sea Fleet. It could dive to 10 feet for 30 minutes to evade detection and used passive sonar to spot Russian submarines at 3 miles. In preparation, primary teams logged hours on simulators, practicing FPV drone launches from moving Magura V5 drones at 25 to 31 mph, ensuring precision in sea state 4-5 conditions. They devised contingencies. If a Magura was detected, it would self-destruct with a 440-pound warhead, creating a smokescreen for FPV drones to escape. The plan was kept tightly under wraps, with only a select few privy to details, using quantum-resistant encryption to evade Russian electronic warfare systems like the Krasuka 4. As the sun set on August 6th, the operation commenced. From a small bay near Odessa, 3 Magura V5 drones were launched under cover of darkness and chemical fog. Each carried 4 FPV kamikaze drones in waterproof composite launch tubes ready for remote activation via Starlink satellites. The Magura drones moved silently, using hybrid electric engines to reduce noise, cruising at 19 miles per hour to conserve fuel, and following a zigzag route to evade Russian coastal radars like the Podsolnuk E, capable of detecting surface targets at 280 miles. Operating in the VHF band with 360-degree scanning, the Podsolnuk E monitors vast sea areas, but Ukraine plotted a course using weather data to mask thermal signatures. From an underground command center in Kyiv, operators monitored real-time data, GPS coordinates, wind speed, and infrared imagery from the Magura drones. They knew Russia's Crimean air defense grid was lethal, with the S-400 Triumph system, including the 92 N6E gravestone radar, 373-mile detection range, tracking 300 targets simultaneously, and 48 N6DM missiles, 155-mile range, Mach 14, paired with the Pantsir S-1, 12-mile range, 57 E-6 missiles at Mach 3.5 for close-in defense. The Yenisei radar, positioned 3 miles inland on elevated ground and hidden in a dome, was guarded by a Russian infantry company and electronic warfare systems. The Pantsir S-1 also featured 2 A-38M autocannons firing 5,000 rounds per minute, though their effectiveness waned at night due to reliance on infrared radar. At around 2 a.m. on August 7, as the Magura drones close to within 6 miles of Crimea's coast, tension gripped the Kyiv command center. Small RQ-20 Puma reconnaissance drones with a 9-mile range and thermal cameras were launched from the Magura units to confirm the target. Flying at 164 feet in stealth mode, they transmitted images. The Yenisei radar was operational, its antenna rotating slowly, flanked by 2 Panzer S-1 units 1,640 feet away. The attack order was given. From the lead Magura, 2 FPV kamikaze drones were launched via compressed gas springs at 62 miles per hour. They followed a parabolic path, starting at 66 feet above the water to avoid ground radar, then accelerating to 112 miles per hour near the shore. Operators, hundreds of miles away, guided them via FPV goggles with 3-foot precision. A backup reconnaissance drone spotted a nearby ZU-23-2 gun firing 2,000 rounds per minute, but it failed to activate in time due to delayed data. The assault turned dramatic. The first FPV drone, dubbed Ghost 1, shot from its launch tube with a faint electric whine, slicing through the pitch-black night. It flew low, just 16 feet above the water, to exploit ground clutter against radar, maintaining 93 miles per hour to conserve battery. At 1.2 miles from shore, Ghost 1 climbed to 328 feet to clear hilly terrain, activating random maneuvers, 30-degree zigzags every 10 seconds to evade targeting. A nearby Casta 2E2 radar, with a 93-mile range for low-altitude targets, attempted to lock on, but Ghost 1 switched signal frequencies to dodge interference. Russia's air defenses reacted swiftly. The S-400's 92N6E radar detected the drone's faint thermal and radar signature at 5 miles, relaying data to Sevastopol's command center. Alarms blared in Russian bunkers, and the first Pantsir S-1 fired a 57E6E missile at Mach 2, chasing Ghost 1 with infrared guidance. But the Ukrainian drone was nimble. Its operator yanked the joystick, sending it into a dive to 33 feet, where terrain clutter confused the missile. The Russian missile missed, exploding 164 feet away in a fireball that lit the sky. Russian troops activated searchlights, but Ghost 1 switched to blind flight mode to avoid optical detection. Undeterred, Ghost 1 pressed toward its target, weaving through a narrow valley where the Yenisei radar scan was obstructed, using an onboard mini-jammer to disrupt Russian radar frequencies, 5 to 18 gigahertz. At 0.6 miles, it accelerated to 124 miles per hour, slamming into the radio-transparent dome. Russian defenses reacted frantically. The second Panzer S-1 fired 3 missiles, but Ghost 1 dodged with 66-foot radius loops, evading 2 and surviving a near miss that damaged a propeller. In its final moment, the FPV camera captured the Yenisei antenna's slow rotation before Ghost 1 struck the main array with a 6.6-pound warhead, triggering a deafening explosion. The strike, from launch to impact, took 2.9 seconds after clearing the final Panzer, a fleeting yet intense clash of human and machine. The blast shattered the antenna and sparked fires in the electrical systems, crippling the Yenisei's data transmission for 10 minutes. The assault didn't end there. From the second Magura, 3 more FPV drones targeted auxiliary radars like the Nebo SVU, 373-mile range, ground target focus, and Podlet K1, 124-mile range, anti-drone. Ghost 2 flew straighter at 656 feet to avoid Pantsir units, but was spotted by the partially operational Yenisei. Russia activated electronic warfare, jamming the drone's control signal and disrupting its FPV feed for 5 seconds. The Ukrainian operator switched to autonomous mode, with AI guiding Ghost 2 via GPS. It dove toward a second dome, evading 4 Pantsir missiles by hugging the terrain, aided by 9-mile-per-hour winds. The second explosion destroyed the Podlet K1, with Russia's response time just 2.8 seconds from detection to fire, proving too slow. The Nebo SVU, with its 82-foot antenna tracking 200 targets, suffered severe damage to its signal processing, disrupting the entire defense network. Meanwhile, the third Magura launched a drone targeting a deeper hidden radar. Ghost 3 flew in radio-silent mode, relying on inertial sensors to evade Russian electronic warfare, and skimmed through a small forest for cover. Russia, sensing the threat, deployed an M28N helicopter with an arbalete radar, 12-mile range from a nearby base. Its rotors roared as it fired S-8 rockets into the suspected area, but the tiny Ukrainian drone, flying low under tree cover, escaped. At 1,640 feet from the target, Ghost 3 surged to 137 miles per hour, piercing the dome and striking the Yenisei's equipment, causing severe damage. The main 28N, with a 199-mile top speed and S-8 rockets, 1.2-mile range, fired 12 rockets, but only lightly damaged the surrounding terrain, allowing Ghost 3 to complete its mission. The strike's outcome was devastating for Russia. The 98L6 Yenisei radar was partially destroyed, its main antenna shattered, losing 360-degree scanning and disrupting the S-500 system in the region. Auxiliary radars like the Nebo SVU and Podlet K1 were knocked out, creating a gaping hole in the air defense grid, paving the way for further strikes. Ukraine suffered no personnel losses, sacrificing only cheap drones, while Russia lost millions in equipment. Russia responded by intensifying patrols and deploying backup S-500 units, but the damage was clear. DIU-released video showed smoke rising from the domes, and OSINT analysis confirmed the radar damage. Estimates suggest this gap allowed Ukraine to conduct 2 additional airstrikes with Storm Shadow missiles within 24 hours, targeting Russian ammunition depots in Sevastopol. The withdrawal was seamless. After launching their drones, the Magura V5 units turned back, speeding toward Ukraine at 43 miles per hour, diving 6.5 feet underwater in stealth mode to evade radar. By dawn, all were safe, leaving Crimea in chaos. During the retreat, one Magura detected and evaded a Russian Grachonik-class patrol boat with a Furka radar, 62-mile range, by abruptly changing course and deploying sonar decoys.